Hi, I wanted to help you with a video so that you could refer back to it at any time and maybe go through some different processes that we went too fast over in the class. So here are some basics and some thoughts on how to potentially set yours up. And I'm starting with a brand new spreadsheet. First thing I might want to do is go in there and title it so that I can find it. And this is in response to our assignment. And of course, this could be very similar in some ways to your final project for Susan as well. But anyways, here is my first attempt at a little video for you. Now, one of the thoughts I had was that I could potentially find it important to date it in the beginning so that I could continue to record the dates and times that patients walked in or showed up at the disaster site. So that's one thing I would put. And then I would name the spreadsheet itself. And so once you put that in there, you can either merge it then, or you can merge it first and put it in, and then your options of course are to center it or keep it to the left. There's different reasons for the formatting part, so I'll kind of walk you through those decisions as well. Show you just some ideas of data that you might be collecting. You're the nurse, so you would know what you would want to find out about people and start keeping track of. But I just wanted to show you a couple of examples and some automated functions that Excel does for you. So I'm just going to imagine that I would be tracking temperature. In Excel, once you highlight the two, then it starts to remember the sequencing, and so then you can just pull it down. You don't have to hand type anything. Maybe that's more than you wanted to track, so we're just going to get rid of that. And other information that I want to collect is, of course, their name and whatnot, and I just noticed I don't have enough room for that, so it's something you might also want to know. If you click over here on the left, then you go to Insert, and you can insert your rows. So I think that I want to have several more rows. Now, I don't want to have to do this one at a time, so I highlight two, and when it looks like that, then I'm able to insert a couple rows at a time, and that's going to make enough room for all the other stuff I decided I should put here. And I think I'd rather have more rows than less right now. So the other kind of categories I was thinking might be really important would be the name, date of birth, maybe all the different physicians they had, and of course medications and all the conditions. And then this first page then I'm imagining would be collecting everything for a patient, and each succeeding sheet might be having things that would show me trends. Again, my thinking would also be that I would want maybe this first sheet to be the place where everything collects and automatically forwards to other sheets, so I don't have to hand enter every single time on every single sheet. So I wanted to show you how it functions like that. So I've kind of got the basic things up here, and I'm gonna work on the formatting and color of everything in just a bit. Okay, so the first sheet is here, and I want to make several sheets, so I'm going to go ahead and just hit New Sheet. Now, notice I'm not copying that sheet, although I could completely duplicate it and have this exact same information, but I kind of want it to autofill, so I wanted to show you that feature. Information I have on here that I want to see on other sheets is really everything. So here I go. I'm going to go to Sheet 2, click here, and put equal, and go back, and I want it to be equal to what was in this cell right here. Now once I have that, then I can go ahead and format the cells just like before, but I wanted to show you what happens when I drag it down. Notice that it automatically pulls that information for me exactly as it is over here. Other information that I wanted to have automatically coming over here into this cell was whatever I type in here. and all I have to do is drag the cell over, and it's so smart that it will automatically, see how that's C3 and this is B3. So I'm going to drag that over, and now that this is over here, I could just drag it down, and it's smart enough to pull from those places. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the formatting. Okay, so let's see how this works out. I'm on sheet 1 now, and I'm going to start to fill in. So this is going to be Jane Smith, and her date of birth I'm going to put as 1945, and then I'm going to list out her details here. So I'm probably not going to need those so much. I'm going to put that his doctor is Alexander Torres, and his other doctors are going to be you know, like so. And medication, I'm not sure how this is spelled, and I'm just going to list one condition for now, but of course I don't even know how to spell that exactly. Maybe, okay. So let's go up to sheet 2 and see. Oh, look at that. It automatically brought that information over. So you can see the value of that is that I now only have to enter the things that I want on this one sheet, and it's automatically going to go over to the other sheet. Now, other things that will be needed by hand would be to automatically format these things so that they're easier to read. So that was sheet 1, and that's sheet 2. Okay, sheet 1 has all of the original information hand typed, but sheet 2 has nothing hand typed. It has just formulas referring to sheet 1. Now that I've got this and it's containing the formulas, I'm going to go ahead and pull that formula over, because I imagine that I'm going to continue to be adding medications, and I'm going to continue to add conditions and whatnot. So I'm going to bring that information over. I'm pretty sure this all will stay the same, unless I was going to use this for multiple patients. My plan was to use each sheet to track the temperature. And I'm going to hit equals and go get And so now I'm in sheet 2, and you can see that it has brought over what was filled in that cell. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it down, or no. Now that I have the workings that I need that have all the pertinent information, then I'm going to go ahead and start duplicating so that I have to redo anything by hand. And now the formulas are waiting for me. I'm going to go sheet 3, and before I get too excited, I'm just going to test out sheet 3. Okay, let's just see if this is working now. Lip at the door, and high blood pressure, and what other condition? Let's say diabetes. So let's look on sheet 2 and see. Sure enough, it automatically brought whatever I put. So whatever I type on sheet 1 will go into sheet 2 and sheet 3. Let's look. Yes, it did. Okay. Now I wanted to show you how to insert a little chart so you could do some trending. And I don't want to show anything on sheet 1, is my decision, and instead I'm going to start showing that on sheet 2. But I'm going to collect the data on sheet 1 for all the weeks, and the charts are going to show on the following sheets. So let's just try this out. I'm going to start with October 8th, and going to make it so I don't have to do too much by hand and change the date like that. For instance, the first day, maybe 45, and then 55, 65, 75, all over the place this day. their temperature on all 4 of those days, and we would like to see how they play out in a chart. Let's say that sheet 2 is good for the 8th of October. I'm going to go equals and now going to grab this information and I'm going to go insert chart, and I'd like it to be a column chart. Insert. Okay, so now I can see very easily what is going on with the patient. So I'd like to show you 2 things now that the chart's in here. I find that it's a little bit big, so I'm going to, once I've got that little icon showing for me, I can do all that. And then you can see it's covering up my area, so I don't like that. I'm going to hold here until it turns into a hand, and then it allows me to move it. Nope, not the way I wanted it, so just undo and let's try again. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to move it under the area that I wanted to measure. Okay, so I noticed there was a problem with the plan that I had set up, because when I went to insert a chart on this particular page, I found out it needs to be right next to each other in order for it to recognize everything for the chart. So it's okay, that's all part of figuring stuff out. So I just wanted to show you that the best laid plans don't work out. You have to actually make it happen before you notice these things. So I'm going to have to modify my sheet 3 and go and get this information to be lined up right next to where I need it to be. Time. And now I want to get, now I can just pull everything down that I need because I've got everything lined up. All right, so now it's looking the way it needs to. I'm going to go ahead and finish out the information and bring this together. Go insert chart. I'm going to have a different looking chart for this day. Now I'm going to size it. And I'm going to try to drag it. Click off. And let me drag it. Ah, there we go. Now, one other thing, if you wanted to potentially, you know, change the colors of it and whatnot, you go into Advanced Edit, and here's where you can change the title, you can change the colors, maybe you want a yellow background, and maybe you want update, and there's your new little chart. Once you got the basics down, that's when you can go back in and make the look of it so that you can read everything. I think it would look better if those were left justified, and I think I would be able to read everything better if certain things were dark and other things were not. And then I likely would probably highlight this area as well. And I think it might be important to give colors here because that's going to be information that I continue to grab through the weeks. Just say like that. Then of course you might want to outline those things. So I guess I would leave the formatting type things until the very end when you have it all making sense to you. And bold those areas, maybe they need to be all right justified. Okay, and let's